There's a place down the street where my ancestors used to gather and watch the sunset, paint its quicksilver silhouette on the mountaintop backdrop 50-some miles to the west. This was a day and age before we could climb to the top in a wheeled metal box, before the skin of love-struck Mother Earth was plagued with the pox of power plants spewing carbon dioxide, before the thoughts of society were neurotoxic. We talked sickness and death, more focused on the unlikely advance of the Ebola virus than the wealth of information at our fingertips, the instant capacity of our minds and computers to transfer megabits and megapixels from our pistols like we are potted plants, and they're the serum of Silicon Valley, seeping through the cracks in our lackluster minds, binding our hearts to the coal mines from which we came. Turn the page in your sheet music and you see a blank staff. Peel back the layer of thick skin that has formed around your mind and see a minefield, or close your eyes and see that misinformation makes a fine shield from a future of mistakes and a history of frustration. Because if you look through broken glasses and see a path covered in molasses, you won't get very far. There's a place down the street where my ancestors used to gather and watch the construction workers building patriotic Parthenons and mile-high steel towers, where during the day the low hum of power tools and traffic kept them in a systematic stupor, and by dusk the only lullabies are police sirens and train whistles given life by a driver who had to take something, someone, somewhere so late at night. This late at night, if you hear the wolves howling to the moon like a fairy tale, it means they're calling back to their own ancestors who lived in a day and age before our metal boxes came with attachments, weapons of mass destruction, slicing trees and starting forest fires, before we patched dynamite holes in the earth with sealing wax, before we choked the skies with explosives and the ground with monuments to our killing machines, invaded the Middle East, further with violent scenes, a guttural bloodthirst propelling our instinct to kill others of our kind. For some reason, we want to decimate our own species and tear asunder the planet that we call home, but we won't get very far. There's a place down the street where my ancestors used to watch the fireworks paint the skies in vibrant displays of sight and sound, stimulating the senses, driving the mind wild, triggering explosions, neuron after neuron bursting, popping like a shattered light bulb, with my own gaze transfixed in their bright hold. This is the place where the Joshua tree still stands. My tree still stands with branches braced like arms against the sandstorm, the last of its kind, wondering as the sparrows alight from its branches if it could somehow take flight and join them. Some trees possess the special power to sprout wings and take flight like angels, roost in the sky, see the world from a different angle, and when your brilliant leaves reach the stars on Hollywood Boulevard, mind them they didn't